Let's get into this. So I'm just looking at these Reddit stories. The first one, top one, my boyfriend 44 male told me 34 female and my daughter 12 female to get out of the house during a disagreement. So I've been with my boyfriend for about 2.5 years now. He asked for my daughter and I to move in with him about 1.5 years ago. We have had a seemingly great relationship the entire time. I could count on one hand the amount of disagreements we had. I wouldn't even say argument or fight because there's no shouting, no name calling, no big drama. You can have fights and things without those things. That's leading into something more, I can already tell. I was initially hesitant about moving in because he provides a much different lifestyle than I could ever for my daughter. I am successful. I work for an engineering firm. I have her in a great private school, but he comes from generational wealth to a level where he has never had to work and never will by any stretch. I knew going in that this would add to any trauma for her if we didn't work out, her being her daughter. Well, fast forward to now, and we have all built a great life for ourselves. He has mentioned multiple times that he intends to spend the rest of his life with me, asked me to quit my job, and said he would support us so I could focus on just being a parent. That's like a full-blown married, you know, if something happens, you're getting half type of deal. No, at least it seems like your mind's in the same spot. A few weeks ago, I was trying to have my car traded in to buy a new Escalade. Luckily, I never followed through with these because of the idea that the idea of being that financially dependent on somebody is scary. It seems like she's at least thinking about the things and the future if it doesn't work out. So that's smart. I like to see that. About 2 weeks ago now, he relapsed. All right. I'm not trying to judge, but you can only rely on somebody that is actively fighting these things and fighting these demons. We'll say that. So much. You kind of want to be the person to help them. Relying on them it can be scary. It can also be really bad. So I feel like I see why she was thinking the way she was at the start of this. We've both been sober for years, long before we met each other. So this was a side to him I have not seen. His vice of choice was stimulants, and he had disappeared to the lake house to go on a bender. I reached out while he was there to offer support because I knew what had to be going on. And in a moment of weakness, he admitted what he had done. When he came back, it was as if nothing had happened. No discussion, no coming to God moment, no meetings. I think he deeply regrets even telling me because I doubt he ever would based on his behavior since. So all of last week, his behavior is sporadic. One night it was great. We would be having a wonderful family time. Others, he would have his AirPods on in the corner and barely say a word to me. He started picking fights, convinced a text I would send asking for him to pick something up or otherwise mundane things as me being ungrateful, condescending, just like his ex-wife. I realize you can't get a full picture from going and talking to the ex-wife, but I feel like that would be a thing to do. Just, you know, hopefully she could be somewhat objective. I doubt it, but hopefully, and you could just get some information. I tried not to feed into anything because I do know he must be suffering. Right away, comparing you to his ex-wife it's not healthy. Not a healthy relationship right off the rip. The fact that you're telling me he doesn't have to work, can do whatever he wants, chooses, well, I guess he hadn't been choosing, but is now choosing drugs. I think you instantly at that moment know it's time to go. Like, it's over. That's the end of it. I think you, like, people let love blind them from so much and make very obvious basic decisions not even exist in your mind in the moment. And you got to get past that and just be like, all right, it's you and your daughter. Like, your daughter is number one in this situation. If he's on drugs, it's time to go. Like, if he's not going to do anything right away, like, it's time to go. Saturday night, after a nice day with the kids, he pulls me aside and demands an apology for having texted him earlier that week asking if he could drop off sneakers to my office on his way to get his kids from school. Because I had a parent/kid sport game at my daughter's school and had totally forgotten them. This was a huge personal affront to him. I am genuinely confused by this, and that becomes me being defensive, and it's like he doesn't even know who I am anymore. Sounds like he's always high. Like he's probably always on drugs, and I feel like you probably know that and are avoiding admitting it. I am genuinely confused by this, and I already read that. At this point, I am crying because he is saying we aren't working out. That, he says, is me flipping the script and self-victimizing as emotional abuse to make him be on the defense. Leave. The conversation ends with, get out of my house. I need space, mind you. So it's not a serious relationship. If it's that easy to say get out, it's not serious. Go. Like I realize I'm making it sound so easy. Move on. Go next. Please go next. Mind you, it's 7 p.m. All of his kids and my daughter are playing having a great time. I say, hey, this is our home, and that would be traumatic for my daughter. He says, this isn't a divorce. I have no right to this place. These things happen all the time. He needs us out by the end of the night for a break. So he also does not care for you at all, or he wouldn't be like, even if it had got to the point where everything was so bad and he wanted you out, if he truly loved you, it wouldn't be get out tonight. It would be, you know, you'd have your talk, a realistic timeline, give you some space to get your things out. This is somebody, assuming this is real, this is somebody who's extremely immature. No wonder he has an ex-wife already. This is pure trauma for my daughter. All the kids are confused. I don't feel it's my place to explain to his kids, and he is off with his AirPods. So he kicked you out, said get out tonight, and popped his AirPods in and walked away. Why are you even around someone like this? The generational wealth, I know people do weird and crazy things for money, but like there's no world where you're happy with somebody like this. The money's not going to make up for that. I think that should be fairly obvious. This dude is extremely immature, will probably never be able to be in a real relationship. You need to go next. You need to leave. All right. My daughter is sobbing about her cats that have to stay, and we have to pack bags and go to my dad's house. Once I leave, he texts saying, thank you for allowing this time apart for us to reflect and figure out where to go from here. Okay, I'm delusional. Am I delusional for thinking this is not something that you can bounce back from? No, you should leave. What he showed this weekend and all the callousness towards my daughter and lack of respect for what we call a home, I just don't understand. Your daughter should be number one. Even if you're in a relationship with somebody else, your child is going to become a massive priority for them. No, if he loved you, loved your daughter, this would never happen. Like, you can say it's drugs, whatever you want. You can make up whatever excuse you want. That's embarrassing. You should not do that. You should move on. I know breaks happen, but like this, no. Breaks are not normal in a fully committed relationship. They're not. He didn't even say goodbye to her. That's crazy. He kicked you out and just walked away with AirPods. I guess I just want to know if this is regular. If I am just young and naive and don't understand how relationships really work. I definitely could have remained more calm in that discussion. No, you should have spazzed out. But I was overwhelmed and confused. I can tell by the text that he is leading up to this. Okay, so he thinks he can kick you out, say leave, and then everything will be fine in a week. That is insane. I just don't see how I would ever feel comfortable calling that my home again. Imagine if I had quit my career, traded in my car. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you didn't. That was smart to think ahead. Very smart. You should continue to think ahead and leave and forget about this person. No way. He doesn't love you or your daughter. Definitely doesn't love your daughter, because even if I hated you, got to the point where I hated the person I was with, there's no world I'm acting like that for a kid. Like I'm literally going out of my way to make sure that kid does not have any problems. I'm not kicking you out in the middle of the night. That's weird. I would have been jobless, carless, and on my dad's doorstep. I can't even, well, at least you have a job and a car, but you are on your dad's doorstep. Leave. You are with somebody who is extremely mature. He's already failed at one relationship. There's probably a lot there that you could unpack from that relationship and realize is probably happening in your relationship. Regardless of drugs or not, somebody allowing that to happen is unacceptable. Someone kicking you out right away, unacceptable. Saying, hey, I'm over this. This relationship's over. You guys are gonna have to leave. You know, please be out in a week or two or whatever. I could understand that being realistic, but this dude is probably on drugs 24/7. He's probably, ever since that bender, I really doubt that he's went on a bender and is now on drugs all the time. There's probably more to it. The fact that there's generational wealth behind it tells me he'll probably never grow up because he'll have no reason to. Probably gets whatever he wants, does whatever he wants, acts however he wants, doesn't think about other people. First thought right away is your daughter's there and he doesn't care. Your first thought should be, he doesn't care about my daughter. It's time for me to get out of this relationship. It makes no sense in any world for you to stay or go back to this guy or even have any interactions with this person. Go on, move on, find somebody that is right for you, loves your daughter, has a lifestyle that you fit into. First thing you said was basically you weren't even comfortable with his lifestyle, or moving into that lifestyle, which should have been telling. 100%. I, 24 female, just said yes to my partner, 31 male, asking for me to marry him. I feel sick about it and unsure. Okay. I don't want to judge too much. We've been together for 8 years. He's my first serious relationship, and I've never really known what it's like to be with anyone else. I don't think that I think you have friends, you interact with other people that are in relationships. I feel like that sentence for some people, maybe not for her here, is a cop out. Like you know how other relationships go. You might not have been in another serious one. You can see them around you. You see how they work. You see what they're like. You see the other types of good and bad, right? He proposed last weekend at dinner, and in the moment I said yes because everyone around us was clapping and he looked so happy. So you said yes, not because you wanted to be with him. Already huge fail. No, right away. No, just no. That's all you need to say. You've been in a relationship for 8 years and you weren't ready. You don't want to get married. That you shouldn't be in that relationship. You're just coasting. The second I said yes, instead of feeling excited and happy, I felt this wave of panic in my chest. You don't want to be with him. I don't need to know anything. You don't want to be with him. I've had this heavy pit in my stomach ever since. You literally don't want to be with him. I think it's a little messed up that you're with this guy for 8 years and you don't want to be married. I wouldn't say there's a direct timeline, but after a couple of years, if you haven't thought about marriage, you're never going to with that person. It'll be pretty obvious to you when you want to get married. That is crazy. She felt a wave of panic in her chest. I've had this heavy pit in my stomach. I think part of it is what I've gotten comfortable. Part of it is that I've gotten comfortable. He's all I've ever known, but now I'm questioning if I even want him, and it's making me feel so gross and guilty. Yeah, get out. You don't want to be with him. You did not have any plan on marrying this person. You're 8 years in. You would have known long before 8 years. It's fine. It's a little weird to lead it on for 8 years, and it seems like he really knew he wanted to marry you. So I will say this is definitely on you, 100%. We do have good times. You can have good times and all kinds of stuff with friends and even just acquaintances, irrelevant. But we also argue a lot over little things, chores, money, how much time we spend together versus apart. Those are all fine arguments, depending on, how deep they go. And if you're listening to each other is another thing, but those are things like that's okay to talk about and have arguments about. It's weird she's pointing out things that like kind of don't matter or matter, but aren't that big of a deal as why. And honestly, sometimes I feel more relief when he's not home. Yeah, you don't love this guy. You're not in love with him. You might love him as a friend or as a person. You are not in love with this person. 8 years is crazy. That has me questioning whether I said yes because I really wanted to. Questioning as soon as you weren't happy and excited, you knew, or because it was the easier option. Well, obviously it was easier than saying no in front of all these people you knew and this person you've been with for 8 years. Oh my gosh, how is this not so obvious? Now he's talking about telling our families and planning a date. Yo, yeah, normal. I feel sick with anxiety. I don't want to hurt him. You already have. You just don't know it. You already 100% have. But I also don't want to commit to something that doesn't feel right deep down. Has anyone else been in this position, like saying yes out of comfort, familiarity, and then doubting it after? Did those feelings pass? No, those feelings aren't gonna pass. Leave. Break up with him. I won't say you let him on for 8 years as much as I want to, because there's always more to these stories and more that's going on. You can't tell us in a post. Leave. Break up with him. You don't want to get married. You shouldn't have been in this relationship for 8 years. It's definitely messed up that at no point during 8 years were you like, I want to marry this person. I'm going to stay with it. Like, guys, 8 years is it's crazy. It's crazy. Not going to be the same timeline for everyone. Some people are going to realize it right away that they plan on marrying this person. Some people are going to let it go for a bit, but I mean, 2 to 4 years in, if you haven't even thought about it, if it's not an exciting thought that one day or eventually you'll get there, that's insane. And it's clear you no inclination of ever marrying this person. You are not excited. You're 8 years in. You know everything about this person. You're living together. You know the answer. You know that you don't love this person. You know you shouldn't have said yes. You know you shouldn't even have got to this point where he asked you. 8 years in is real. That's a good timeline for him to ask you. That's really good. He let it go for a while. Leave. Go away. That is crazy to me. Oh my gosh, that's insane. To me, it's just such common sense. It's like obvious in your face. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Okay, I like this one. I, 25 male, can't stand the incredibly low intelligence of my partner, 25 female of 6 years. Oh my gosh. If you're going to talk about your partner like that, especially even if it's anonymous on the internet, this isn't a good relationship. It's crazy. One sentence can tell me everything I need to know. At least I think. Maybe there's more. I'm posting here just because I don't like talking badly about my girlfriend to anyone I know in real life. At least you keep it to real life, I hope. I mean, it seems like you do, but I don't know. This isn't even really bad necessarily, but still it's unfair to her to start saying this about her to other people who know us. It would be very messed up for you to say that to people you know. We've been dating for 6 years. It's been great. We share values and beliefs and many things, and we genuinely enjoy spending time with each other. As we are getting closer to the serious stage of any relationship, marriage, I have started developing stronger concerns thinking about the future. I would say this has been on my mind for over a year, hoping and praying it would go away, but it just won't. And if anything, it's getting stronger. I just have a gut feeling I won't be happy in the future. A lot of our relationship, I've dealt with basically everything. Planning a 2-month trip in Europe and working on the day-to-day itinerary and places to eat for date nights, activities we can do, helping her get a job with building her resume, and showing her how to apply, prepping for her job interviews, helping her with working on a healthy lunch for her work. It may sound controlling, but I genuinely don't want to do everything. It's just the way our relationship is, and she likes it that way. I have tried multiple times to tell her that I would like her to help, but she always replies with, I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, it's potential that she's not the smartest. It also seems like she likes not having to do anything, and you're getting used a little bit. This, however, isn't even that bad. As I mentioned, I'm used to planning and doing everything for us. It's just become my role. When you ask for like your partner, hey, I'm doing all this. Can you help out? Can you do some of this on your own? And they're like, I don't know how. Nah. If they cared, they would figure out how. They would have you teach them. They would go, they would figure it out. There's AI. There's the internet. There's other people around you. There's friends, family. There's this relationship you're in. She clearly doesn't care and doesn't want to. Telling right away. All right. However, as the years have gone by, I've always known her intelligence wasn't very high. Pretty basic things are even a struggle for her. She doesn't understand directions at all. Her mathematics are really bad. Struggles with 21 plus 25. Even though we have been to Rome and Italy, she asks me if Rome is its own country. I was in disbelief the other day when she thought that the sun rises in the north and sets in the north. Yo, what are you with? Oh my God. Seriously? How can somebody who has lived here for 25 years think that's true? This doesn't sound real. I will tell her things that are important to me and she will forget them. All right, I take back what I said earlier that she might not want to. If maybe she can't. Maybe she actually can't. I will tell her things that are important to me and she will forget them. And I'll need to re-explain them a week later. I've tried to help her with things in our relationship. Once she came to me upset because at her workplace, she needed to use fractions and she didn't understand any of them. She was struggling with 3 divided by 4 and 1 divided by 4, for example. I sat down with her and offered to teach her and make her understand. She told me, I'll never need this again, so no need to learn. This sounds not real. Why wouldn't she have just got out a calculator? Why would she got on her phone? Why would you ever admit to this? Her emotional intelligence really lacks. Like, you have to actually be not the smartest to just not whip out your phone or use, literally at this point, use AI, ChatGPT. Her emotional intelligence really lacks with the fights we have. Being completely honest and as harsh as it might sound, I think about when we have kids, she won't be able to really teach them anything. And if she does try, it will likely be incorrect. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a very valid concern. How smart will your kids be? She gets upset that I correct her a lot because it makes her feel dumb. I have tried to help her with simple tasks, but her unwillingness to learn is what is affecting me. You might want to make sure she gets tested. Like, this isn't a normal level of not that smart, dumb. This isn't normal. She might have something else going on. I've spoken to her about this many times, but nothing is changing. I just don't know how to feel. She loves me a lot, and it would destroy her breaking up, but I just don't feel happy anymore. Okay, you're not happy anymore. It's time to go. That last sentence is the key. We live for only so long, all right? Spending time with other people and getting to know them, valuable life lessons, cool, really, memories being built. You can have really good experiences, even from relationships that end. You're not happy anymore. It's time to go. Her being smart or not is definitely leading to why you're not happy, it seems like, but just it's time to go. It's all right and to move on. It's scary. Somebody or both of you are going to get hurt. It's going to take time to get over it. whatever excuse you want to put out there, just leave. Go find some happiness. You are not on this earth forever. We are all gonna die at some point. There is no point in wasting time doing something like this. Everyone gets hurt at some point in one way or another. Relationships, you know, something happening, you know, things. People are never gonna be ready. They're never not gonna get hurt. Leave this relationship. I don't know what to tell you. That level of intelligence is insane. I don't know that I've ever met anybody that can't do basic fractions, or if they can't do something, they don't just pull out their phone and kind of keep it to themselves. If this is real, I feel really bad for her. Somebody or multiple people failed her far before you are going to leave her, which is not failure, but you get what I'm saying. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is next levels of not smart. I'm trying not to use the word dumb, but not smart. Oh my god. Oh my goodness gracious. Oof. I actually want to read what the top comment is on this. The tone alone of this post shows that you clearly don't feel great about your relationship you're in or the other person you're in with, unless you see that changing. So yes, time to move on. All right. So other people saw it the same way I did. Just wanted to make sure. All right, let's do one final one. Well, I'll do more of these if you guys like them. You guys just tell me. Like I can go through these. I'm trying not to speed through them too fast, but I also don't want to cover too many in one of these. I'm debating on bringing in my editor. I think I'm gonna bring in my editor, and we're gonna sit down and have like a, you know, back and forth. I would love to do this with my wife because I hear about relationship problems through her and like, you know, people she knows, people at work, whatever, a lot more. I work from home. I hear some, but it's not the same level. So I would be interested to bring her on here too. I don't know if she would though. Next one, my female 29 cousin, female 29, she put it twice, has convinced herself that my husband, male 33, is in love with her. How do we deal with it? I love this, man. My husband, James, and I got married, James in quotations, and I got married a little over 2 months ago, and this has been going on since then. We had a pretty small wedding. I have a huge family, but invited less than half of them for personal reasons. One cousin, Mira, was unsure about inviting. I was unsure about inviting, but she was going through a hard time, and I thought inviting her would help her out of her depressive funk. She's recently divorced, and her husband of 2 years cheated on her and kicked her out of his home. At the wedding, everything was pretty normal. Nothing crazy happened. Relevant detail here is that during the wedding reception, my husband and I did a little segment where we dedicated songs to each other, and they were played with an announcement stating that I dedicated one to him, then he dedicated one to me. The song he dedicated to me was Adore You by Harry Styles. We are both Harry Styles fans, and that is my husband's favorite song. Because of that lyric that says brown skin and lemon over ice, Mira thinks he was secretly dedicating it to her and not me. Her reasoning being that she has darker skin than I do, which is true, but it was not meant for her, and also insane thought process. She might have some crazy psychological stuff going on from her divorce with her husband. You're right. That is an insane thought process. That she either there's something seriously wrong from her divorce, or she's truly a narcissist and there's something wrong with her. It could be a combination. Ever since then, she's been telling people that her and my husband are seeing each other behind my back and bragging about dating him, which she is not. Definitely don't have any interactions with her anymore, but this is crazy. My husband had only met Mira once before the wedding at Thanksgiving 4 years ago, and they didn't even speak to each other apart from saying hi. Mira has been posting poorly photoshopped pictures of herself and my husband. She's having like a psychological break, 100%. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, but this is my take. There's some psychological thing going on. She's broken. Mira has been posting poorly photoshopped pictures of herself and my husband, and took photos from the wedding and cropped me out of them and plastered them on social media, bragging about being with my husband. This is crazy. Stalker level crazy. We have both asked her to stop, and she blocked me and ignored him. My family members are split. The ones who weren't invited are saying I deserve this, and this is my karma for not inviting them to my wedding. That is a whole... Who cares if you don't get invited to your cousin's wedding? Who cares if you're if you're an uncle and your niece doesn't invite you to the wedding? Who cares? Why do people get mad over this? Live your own life, man. It's crazy. I understand that in some cultures, family is everything and all that. Bro, it's a wedding for that person, not for you. Who cares? My cousins all think Mira is crazy. Yeah, because they're younger generation. They realize she is psychotic. And my aunts, uncles who were invited say that I should just ignore her since I know she was lying. Realistically, yeah, probably just make hey, this is going on in your family, and then just block and ignore everything. But it is a little crazy, and you might want to do something about, go to the police, get a restraining order, because this is the kind of thing that I feel like could escalate so fast because it's already insanely crazy. This is driving me and my husband insane. And yesterday, Friday, she showed up at my husband's job to bring him lunch and told everyone she was his girlfriend, which led to confusion. Okay, yeah, that's the extra crazy we're talking about. That you need a restraining order, 100%. Which led to confusion since most of his coworkers know me and 3 of them were at the wedding. I literally don't even know what to do at this point because it's so stupid and insane that I'm dumbfounded. I would appreciate some advice. She needs help, but you can't get it for her. You need to get a restraining order. Absolutely. That's as soon as it starts to be harassment and affecting your everyday life and your day-to-day. Yeah. Restraining order, 100%. Edit one or only edit. Thank you all. I got a lot of advice very quickly, so I'm going to speak to my husband about all of your ideas. I'm getting too many messages and comments of people accusing me of AI, and I don't really want to argue about that right now. So it's a real person. Top comment, your cousin doesn't sound mentally well. Exactly. And you should probably look at getting a restraining. Literally the top comment with 9,000 likes. Yeah, that's not an ignore moment. It was borderline, and then if she shows up at your husband's work, that's restraining order, 100%. These I would hate to have to go through a lot of this, so I do feel bad for these people with these crazy stories, but I feel like the answers are like blatantly in your face, and you're probably wishing they weren't, and you're hoping there's some other solution. Nah, go get a restraining order, show them everything, document everything, and I'm gonna be honest, like, be careful you yourself, because if she's trying to become you in some way, watch yourself. Legitimately, watch yourself. I was gonna call that the last one, but they're so interesting. I get addicted to reading these. These problems are wild. Fortunately, I never deal with anything like this, so these are wild to me. Here's one. My 28 female boy. My 28. Okay, she worded this weird. She's 28 female. Her boyfriend 29 male. Let my stalker ex 28 male into our apartment to leave me a birthday surprise. That is no. That guy has nuh-uh. How do I handle this absurdity? That is crazy. From a male perspective, you're fully, I'm gonna protect my my significant other. I'm not gonna let anything happen. You're overprotective. You do the opposite of this. This is crazy. Hello all, my last post blew up a bit and many people were concerned about me, so I'm going to give you this update. I can't even put into words how insane the situation has gotten. Original post is here. Oh, we gotta read the original post first. I, 28 female, broke up with my ex, 28 male, 10 months ago, but he will not get over it. Despite me wishing to no longer interact with my ex, as well as dating someone new, Cole, 29 male, my ex has been trying to win me back by doing over-the-top things like sending me gift baskets, love letters, chocolates, etc., even though I blocked his number on all social media and always ignored his attempts to woo me with his gifts. He never actually interacts with me directly, never waits for me outside or tries to talk to me. He just leaves me gifts at my doorstep and runs away. It's creepy. It makes me super uncomfortable. Yes, it should. That is extreme. That is very creepy. I don't like that either. Cole, who I live with, doesn't actually see an issue with this and says he feels bad for my ex and doesn't want me to waste my ex's money/effort. So I reluctantly just let Cole eat the chocolates and other crap since he insists I don't throw them out. Nah, your new boyfriend's not it. Yes, that's not it. I can appreciate wanting to avoid confrontation, being a little passive or being like a pacifist, but this is crazy. Acting like this is not a big deal at all. No, something ain't clicking right there. He should know right away that this is not okay. You might want to watch out for him too. He even likes reading the love letters, even though I tell him I don't want to. It's like he's getting off on this. It's like he likes it. You might need to look at these guys you're into. I don't understand why he's so chill about this because my ex and Cole aren't even friends and have never interacted, so it makes no sense why he's so okay with my ex doing these dumb gestures that he knows makes me uncomfortable. That alone, he knows you are uncomfortable and he acts like it's fine. Bad relationship, bad guy, bad dude. If anything, Cole should be pissed off that someone is trying to steal his girlfriend, right? I don't know about that. I think he should be protective of you. I I would be annoyed, I guess, but some people just wouldn't, like, that wouldn't phase them at all. That part wouldn't phase them. It's more of the, this isn't right. It's very creepy. You're uncomfortable. It's a safety thing at that point, not so much this. Anyway, all of this finally came to a head on my birthday. After work, I came home to our apartment decorated in balloons, chocolates, and flowers. I'm immediately touched, thinking all of this was a surprise from Cole. Nope. Apparently, my ex had actually came over with all this crap, buzzed our apartment doorbell. Cole let him in and allowed my ex to decorate our apartment and leave gifts for me. This Cole dude is not, you should not be with this guy. He doesn't know this guy at all outside of being an extremely creepy person who just says, hey, come on in our apartment and do whatever you want. That's how you get killed. That's how you get murdered. And then my ex, surely the psychotic ex here doesn't like this Cole dude. He wants him. He wants to be him. Like what? Then my ex left before I could get home. Cole apparently saw no issue with this. He literally let my ex into our apartment like it was no big deal because my ex came all the way with all these gifts, which was such a thoughtful gesture. No, that's 100,000,000,000% get rid of this Cole dude as well. Get far away from these guys and look for a whole new type of dude. Change up what you're into, please. Your guy choosing here is crazy. Back to back. Now I feel totally unsafe. What if my ex secretly left a hidden camera or something? Exactly. Worse than that, anything could be, made a key, done something to be able to get in and out whenever he wants. I have no idea why Cole is so fine with all this. I've talked to him over and over, and he won't understand why I would want to reject free stuff from someone who cares about me. No. Something weird about this Cole. So this Cole guy, no. I don't know him, and something's wrong. I love Cole, but the fact that he actually let my ex in our apartment was a huge breach. You saying I don't like this should be it for him. He shouldn't have to understand any more than that. That's it. It is literally that simple. You tell me, hey, this is uncomfortable. I don't like this. Now guess what? Now it's uncomfortable for me. Now I don't like it. That's it. Is this relationship just unsalvageable, or is there a way I can get through Cole's head that none of this is okay? No, this dude, something's wrong with him. Could Cole have ulterior motives by letting my ex do all these things? It's like he gets off on it. Any advice is welcome, and just have no clue how to handle this. Edit 1. Thank you for all the insight, everyone. I really appreciate it. I don't have the money to do everything that was recommended, but I'm going to do some investigating into Cole and my ex possibly being in cahoots with each other. That wouldn't surprise me. I confront Cole this weekend, likely to end this cluster. Imagine it's a fake relationship, the Cole dude is, and he's like trying to help the other guy get back. Like, it would be I don't know what kind of movie you'd be living in, but damn. If there's any interest, I'll update. All right. Yeah, the top comment is this isn't a relationship, I would say. There's a huge update on this, though. When I got back home on Friday, I tried to come up with a good plan to keep myself safe while I confronted Cole in case he were to do something scary. A lot of people put the fear of God into me in some of the comments of the last post. That alone means you weren't safe with him. You shouldn't have been in that relationship to begin with. You shouldn't have known that. I invited my very tall and intimidating younger brother over. See, that's a weird way. You know, maybe she's just trying to get a point that it's her younger brother, but he can protect her. I don't know. So he's there. My brother couldn't come over until Sunday, so I spent a day and a half awkwardly trying to pretend everything was fine, but I must have done a shit job because Cole kept asking me what was wrong and love bombing me. Eventually, Sunday came around, my brother showed up, and we grilled Cole about why the hell he's been so fine with my ex coming around with gifts, and even him letting him in to decorate our apartment for my birthday. I was not ready. All of you had a lot of theories, one of which came up a lot was that the two knew each other and or were working together to do this. If anything, I would have rather that have been the case because the truth is so much more fucked up. Okay, this is basically Cole has been fixated on my ex. He's essentially been stalking my stalker. Cole admitted that he made fake social media accounts, yes, multiple, to follow my ex and has been stalking his Instagram and Facebook. Apparently, my ex has been making a lot of vent posts about me and how hurt he is that I'm not returning his feelings and have moved on so fast, and Cole has been egging him on his alt accounts to get my ex to keep trying. What? The reason my ex is still stalking me is because Cole has been literally telling him to on his fucking alt accounts. It's obvious my ex is unstable if he's listening to random strangers telling to keep trying, and Cole is taking advantage of his instability by planting thoughts into his head. If I am to believe Cole's words, my ex has no idea that it's Cole that's been encouraging him to keep pursuing me, but I can't be certain about anything this guy says at this point. Is he like pranking? Is this a joke to him? What? So why, you ask, was Cole doing all this? This is exactly what my brother and I asked. This was his answer: to give my ex false hope, basically to bully him. He's getting off on it. It's just not what I thought. Anytime my ex angst posted on his social media about me, Cole got some sick satisfaction out of watching his misery. That is insane. He wanted to string my ex along to keep trying to win my heart, just to watch him fail over and over. So he's actually getting off on this. Cole finds it hilarious that my ex is wasting so much money on gifts for me, and that it's him who eats the chocolates and reads the desperate love letters. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. This has all been some sick game to see how long he can get my ex to keep pining for me. Pining for me? Pining for me. I can't read. Who the hell even does this? Yeah, this is wild. I've been living in fear for months because Cole thinks it's funny to manipulate my ex and watch him be heartbroken. I cannot articulate how sick all of this is. How is this funny? What is wrong with him? He said he makes sure not to go too far. What? We've been too far. It started off too far. By discouraging my ex to make direct contact with me, but I can't believe anything more. I've heard so many stories of people who are dating someone who seemed so sweet initially, but turned out to be actually unhinged. But I naively never thought that could be me. If you go into anything and you're like, that can't be me, you've already fucked up. That's you. It's you. It's the person that's like, this could happen to me that it doesn't happen to. I was so careless and dumb. That's in anything, not just relationships. I was so careless and dumb because I clung to somebody who finally treated me with kindness, but he is a twisted man who turned my ex into a monster by feeding his delusions. I think if he hadn't done all of this, my ex probably wouldn't still be stalking me in the first place. My constant fear and discomfort have just been an unfortunate byproduct of his little game of puppetry. I can't even comprehend. Why can't I read? I can't even comprehend how someone could do something like this. I'm so shaken up. I'm living with my brother and his girlfriend while my ex gets the hell out. I told him he needs to move out within the week or I'm getting the cops involved. He didn't make a fuss or anything, surprisingly. He just looked at the floor like a kicked puppy. He hasn't even tried to call or text me, but I blocked him just in case. I guess maybe he knows like that was crazy. I'm going to see if my landlord can understand my situation. Let me break my lease early with no extra cost. But if I can't, my brother's going to cover the extra cost in the meantime. Your brother kind of hooking you up. I'll stay with him and his girlfriend until I find someone else. My brother is seriously a godsend. I'm definitely going to go back to therapy as soon as possible because this whole situation has me unable to sleep at night. Trust anyone, and I really need a better understanding of what are red flags in relationships. I want to know more about this dude because there has to be other stuff that was telling he was into some weird stuff. So many of you told me I was a pushover and you're all right. It shouldn't have taken this long for me to call this relationship with Cole off. This is so fucked up and I'm safe for now. I don't know what I'd do without my brother and his girlfriend. Thanks to everyone who told me to get on this relationship with Cole because Cole was way more twisted than I ever thought. I don't even know if he told the truth, but I don't even care anymore. Yeah, I feel like he probably did. Maybe not. I don't know. Thank you, and another edit on this one. Thank you everyone for the advice and words of encouragement. I called the non-emergency police line to file a report of all this. It wasn't super helpful other than just making a record of it. That's fine. I unblocked Cole for now to gather any text evidence as some of you suggested, but he's been pretty quiet.